All right, this has been a problem on the internet, been out there for a while, and it's called the prisoner hat logic problem. And I like to explain it here. I love doing this with my kids. I teach sixth grade math, and this is a really great problem to do with them. It forces logic to play a part, and it's also a great way to kind of get their brain thinking, give them hints, kind of just lead them down the path and see how they do. So here it is. I'm going to explain the problem and also the next page will give hints and then finally a solution. So you can go kind of step if you want for your class. Here is the problem. All right, you've got four prisoners lined up as you see in the picture with the color hats on their heads. So one has red, two has blue, three has red, four has blue. The warden of these prisoners decides to have some fun with them and tells them they will be free if anyone can state their hat color and get it right. If they are wrong, they will go to isolation. And here are the rules. Now, obviously, you could say, well, they could just guess and be 50-50 chance. That's right. But there's a way to do this so you're 100% right. But here are the rules. Each person can only see the hat in front of them, so they can't turn around and see the person behind them. No one can see through or over the wall. No one can remove their hat or move around. No talking other than to tell the warden the hat color in their head, so they can't discuss what they see to other prisoners. No cheating in any way. Basically, the only way that they can do is to shout out their color. And it only has to be one person to shout out their color. How could four logical people do this with 100% certainty? Now, the key here is four logical people. So if you had somebody that wasn't logical, this wouldn't work. All right. So if you're doing this with a class or on your own as a student, here are some hints. I can give one hint at a time. So if you want to solve this without any hints, feel free, give it a shot. If you want one hint, then solve it, pause it, solve it, feel free. It's however you want to do it. All right. So the first hint is this. To get it right, the four prisoners won't say anything for a little bit. So that's one hint. Hint two. Find out the most important person to answer first. Who should answer first? Or maybe who should not answer first? Maybe that's another way to look at it. Hint number three coming up. Try to put yourself in prisoner one's shoes. How would you answer right now? If you were prisoner one, would you answer? What would you answer? What if the hat colors for two and three were both blue? How would number one answer? All right, so if you get to this slide, this is a solution. So if you don't want the solution, go ahead and pause it and work it on your own. But here is the official solution. All right, if the prisoners were logical, then here is the solution. And again, the key is logical. Prisoner four knows to be quiet. He has no part in this. He really can't see anything. He can't help in any way. If he cheats, everybody goes to isolation. So it can't work. He knows this. So he just stays quiet. Prisoner three is the same way. He has no part in this. He can't see anybody else's hat. He can only see the wall. He can't cheat. He can't do anything. So he knows just to be quiet. It's really at the prisoners one and two that are the key here. And that should be somewhat obvious that those are the two key players here. If two and three are both the same color, then one would immediately shout out the opposite color and will be right. So let's say two and three are both blue. Then one would shout out red and be right. There's no way it could be wrong because he knows that two have red, two have blue. But in this case, one says nothing because they don't know since they see one of each color. So right now, one is silent because he's like, look, I see a red, I see a blue. I don't know if mine's red or blue, and I don't want to take that chance. I'm logical. I'm not going to say anything. Prisoner two notices one says nothing, and that gives it away of what's going on here. If prisoner one says nothing, then he knows two and three have different color hats on. If they had the same color hats on, one would have already said something. So after, maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds, two says, hey, wait, one didn't say anything. So that means one is looking at blue and red, and he doesn't know for sure. So he's going to leave it up to me. So if two sees a red in front of him, he shouts out blue, knowing it has to be blue, or else one would have already said something. So two shouts out, I got blue for sure, because he sees the red in front. He knows that one didn't say anything. And since one didn't say anything, that means two and three have to be blue and red. So two knows he's got blue on his head.